No child should grow up unaware of the dawn chorus of the birds. They will never forget the experience of a specially planned early rising and going out in the pre-dawn darkness. The first voices are heard before daybreak. It is easy to pick out these first solitary singers. Perhaps a few cardinals are uttering their clear rising whistles, like someone calling a dog. Then the song of a whitethroat, pure and ethereal, with the dreamy quality of remembered joy. Off in some distant patch of woods, a whippoorwill continues his monotonous night chant, rhythmic and insistent, sound that is felt almost more than heard. Robins, thrushes, song sparrows, jays, vireos add their voices. The chorus picks up volume as more and more robins join in, contributing a fierce rhythm of their own that soon becomes dominant in the wild medley of voices. In that dawn chorus one hears the throb of life itself. Precious. So as you can tell from the footage, I'm a hen mama now. I can't believe it. It's been 2 weeks since they've been home, and it's been so much fun getting to know them, observing them as they grow and develop. Their cute little combs and wattles are coming through. It's just has been a delight, and I'm really having a lot of fun. So in today's video, I thought I could take a moment to recommend you some of my most favorite books that are about and honor and celebrate our feathered friends, all of birds. The first one I'd like to tell you about is called Bird Cottage. This was written by Eva Meijer, translated from the Dutch by Anoinette Fawcett. This was actually my most favorite book back in 2021. I was so mesmerized by it. It's about a semi-biographical, fictionalized account of the life of Len Howard, who was a brilliant concert violist and bird naturalist later in her life. I think she was in her mid-40s when she just left her life of music behind to move to a country cottage in Sussex, England, to live among and study birds. She aptly named her home Bird Cottage because she left the windows and doors open throughout the year and really got to know and bond with these birds. She was so comfortable, the birds were so comfortable around her that she could feed them from the palms of her hands. She got to recognize their facial expressions. She followed the lineage, the family lineage of the birds. She was obviously a very brilliant and passionate individual, but there is a touch of immense sadness throughout the book, because you see her as she becomes more reclusive and withdraws from her friends and family, even her community, since it was, an open laboratory, so to speak. There were signs all over her property saying, no callers, no visitors, nesting birds, do not disturb. So I highly recommend this one for bird and animal nature lovers, or anyone who would like to learn more about Len Howard's life. The next one I have is The Conference of the Birds, which was written by Sufi poet Attar of Nishapur back in the 12th century. It's one of my most beloved quest books. We follow every single bird on the planet as they get invited to this conference and are told that they need to go on this dangerous journey to find a divine phoenix. All of them initially say no, but through the wise words of the hoopoe bird, they change their minds and agree to go on this quest. It's filled with so many universal themes and lessons. At the heart of it, it's really about our journeys, learning and coming to understand and accept our true selves, going through self-doubt, trying to attain higher purpose, and in some instances, enlightenment. The next book I'd like to talk about is The Mockery Bird by Gerald Durrell. You'll probably recognize his name. He was a very prolific author. His most beloved books are the My Family and Other Animals series, which are so hilarious. If you haven't read them, please do. It's biographical, based on his childhood in Corfu, Greece, before World War II. But if you'd like to read his fiction, this is a lesser known book of his, The Mockery Bird. This book is set on a fictionalized island called Zenkali, where two indigenous tribes live, and one tribe worships the mockery bird, which was hunted to extinction by French colonizers. We follow many different characters in this book, but one in particular is a biologist who comes across this hidden and unexplored valley that actually is home to a small population of mockery birds. Now, there are some shady businessmen and politicians involved, as in real life. Now, when word gets out that some shady businessmen and politicians intend to destroy this hidden valley because it's been planned for them to build a power plant and a military base there, all hell breaks loose, and it's a riot. Not only is it humorous and satirical, but its powerful message still resonates with our modern times. Now for some nonfiction books. First one I'd like to tell you about was just released this past April. It's called George, a Magpie Memoir, written by Frieda Hughes, who is a poet and painter. She also is Sylvia Plath's daughter. This one is part diary, part memoir about George, a magpie who Hughes acted as surrogate mother to when he fell from a damaged nest as a chick in a storm. It sounds absolutely delightful. I'm really hoping to get to this one. It sounds like so much fun. The next one I'd like to tell you about is The Parrot's Lament by Eugene Linden, and The Parrot's Lament and Other True Tales of Animal Intrigue, Intelligence, and Ingenuity by Eugene Linden. This one just has a multitude of stories and research about bird and animal behavior. It touches upon and highlights bird language, their mathematical capabilities, their playful and curious personalities, and their tendencies to mimic and to deceive. It's really, really interesting and fun to read. The next one I have is Feathers, The Evolution of a Natural Miracle by Thor Hanson. This one looks at the human fascination with feathers, which are objects that have fascinated and mesmerized humanity since the dawn of time. A prime example of this is at Chauvet Cave in France, where there's an owl etched into the stone that dates from more than 30,000 years ago. It really is a fascinating read. Not only have feathers been an object of scientific inquiry, they're also at the heart of many cultures as they've been revered and are central characters to folklore, art, religion, even music. Now for children's books, I have a gem here called King Solomon and the Hoopoes by Margaret Greaves, illustrated by, I think it's Jill McDonald. Here's an owl, gorgeous owl. And let me show you the one of the Hoopoes. I just love them. Look how charming they are. So this is just one of the most charming collections of magical folk tales that I've ever read. It's sadly out of print, but if you come across it in a library book sale or can find a inexpensive copy on Abe's Books, I recommend it. It's just so, it will delight readers of any age really, and it's just full of magic. The main story for which the title comes from is about being careful for what you wish for. Next, I have A Boy, a Mouse, and a Spider, the story of E.B. White, written by Barbara Herkert and gorgeously illustrated by Lauren Castillo. This is a local author that lives in my hometown along the Oregon coast. Here's some examples of the illustrations. I hope you can see it. Let's see. Here we go. And I thought there was one with his hen and chicks. Let me see if I can. This is what I mainly wanted to show you. But it's about his childhood as a sickly boy. His only friends were his animals, and you can really tell that he was greatly inspired by his life on the farm. And it's just to read yourself like I did. One of E.B. White's lesser known books is The Trumpet of the Swan, and this is a really sweet story about a trumpeter swan who's born without a voice, and it's about the journey he takes in order to find that voice. And oh gosh, it's been a while since I've read this one, and I think I need to reread it because it's one of my favorites. Then an honorable mention is actually a sticker anthology that I use a lot in my journaling and letter making. The Bees, Birds, and Butterfly sticker anthology. I just have to show you an example of the amazing art. Just look at this. Look how gorgeous. And there's also, here's more lovely pelicans and herons. They also have these really cool calligraphic stickers in here. Let me see if I can find one that's been unused. Looks like this. It's really good for journaling. Oh, and before I forget, I have to show you my amazing Japanese kimono. Can you see this? It has an amazing phoenix and a heron. I hope you can see that. Thank you for joining me today, and I'd love to hear about any of your most favorite bird books down in the description box below. And if you've read any of these books, please chat with me about them. I'd love to chat to you about them. Until next time, take good care, everyone. Bye-bye.